For years, the decision on how to rebuild the World Trade Center has been a hotly debated issue. If you've been following our channel, you know that the construction is still incomplete. Several buildings are yet to be finished, with some still missing entirely. The journey to rebuild this iconic site has been fraught with challenges and delays. From design changes to the search for tenants, the process has been anything but straightforward. In this video, we'll delve into the latest developments and what lies ahead for the World Trade Center complex. 2 World Trade Center was slated for completion years ago but is still searching for a tenant and has yet to finalize a design. 5 World Trade Center presents a different story. Unlike the other commercial skyscrapers on the site, this one is intended to be part residential, which introduces a new set of terms and public debates compared to an office space. Meanwhile, New York City is grappling with a housing crisis characterized by soaring rents, making new housing urgently needed. However, this is no ordinary building site, and all eyes are fixed on what the latest World Trade Center tower will ultimately become. Today, Lower Manhattan serves as a hub for government, international trade, and finance, but that wasn't always the case. Before the Twin Towers opened in the 1970s, the area was known as Radio Row, a commercial center for hundreds of radio and television storefronts. However, when plans for the World Trade Center were finalized in the 1960s, the neighborhood faced demolition. Concerned for their livelihoods, business owners, along with about 100 local residents, resisted the plans. Ultimately, their efforts were in vain. By the following decade, a new complex of buildings emerged, defining the New York City skyline and becoming an integral symbol of the burgeoning financial district. But these buildings did not stand forever. They were later destroyed or damaged by the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001, altering the skyline and the soul of the city forever. Despite the tragic events of that day, New Yorkers began to rebuild. However, this process was not without controversy and protracted decision-making. Fast forward to today. 1 World Trade Center, along with 3 other skyscrapers, circles a memorial. Yet, parts of the site remain vacant. For instance, at 130 Liberty Street, where the Deutsche Bank building once stood, the area remains an empty construction site for the anticipated 5 World Trade Center. Just like the other structures in the district, the concept for its replacement has undergone numerous revisions and public scrutiny. Daniel Libeskind, the visionary behind the original master plan, envisioned 5 World Trade Center as a residential or mixed-use tower. In 2007, New York City officials outlined a plan for a 42-story office tower with JP Morgan as the anchor tenant, but this never materialized, and the site continued to remain vacant. Then in 2019, Governor Cuomo issued a new call for designs that could be either residential or commercial. A couple of years later, Silverstein Properties and Brookfield Place unveiled plans for a 274-meter mixed-use building comprising apartments, office, and retail space. Designed by Kohn Pedersen Fox, the skyscraper would feature a floor-to-ceiling glass facade with steel-framed windows and rounded corners, presenting a visual contrast to the neighboring all-glass buildings like 1 World Trade. The building also includes several terraces filled with greenery, including a large space in the middle, likely designated for residential amenities. The public debate has shifted focus from the design to who will actually reside in the building. Back in 2021, it was announced that 25% of the units would be affordable housing. However, New York City's affordable housing policies are notably complex, and it is no secret that Manhattan rent is exorbitant. On average, a 1-bedroom apartment in Manhattan costs a staggering $5,588 per month, making it increasingly difficult for many New Yorkers to find affordable housing. The city addresses the housing issue in a few main ways: maintaining public housing developments, providing federal subsidies to some families, and capping the price of certain units in some buildings, such as 5 World Trade Center. To qualify for these so-called affordable units, residents must meet certain income requirements based on the household's percentage of the area median income. They then enter a lottery system for the chance to rent one of the coveted apartments. However, just because the program is called affordable housing does not necessarily mean it is affordable in the way you might expect. These units are designated for individuals earning between 40% and 120% of the area median income. For a family of 3, this means an income range from $50,000 to $84,000 on the lower end and up to $152,000 on the higher end. This broad income range aims to provide affordable housing to a diverse group of residents. However, The definition of affordable varies, and even these capped prices can be challenging for many New Yorkers. The lottery system used to allocate these units adds another layer of complexity to accessing these housing opportunities. Under this system, these coveted apartments will cost between $2,300 and $3,800 a month. Since the announcement of the affordable housing percentage in 5 World Trade Center, New Yorkers have voiced a wide range of opinions on the matter. Some argue that the current allocation is insufficient, while others believe it strikes a fair balance given the high costs of construction and real estate in Manhattan. The debate highlights the broader challenges of addressing the housing crisis in a city where affordability is a persistent issue. Public sentiment continues to shape the future of this significant development. Although 25% of the 1,200 units were originally dedicated to low-income residents, activists have been advocating for 100% affordability, with a portion for 9/11 survivors and their families. While this might seem logical at first glance, it would also entail a hefty bill, a $500 million government subsidy according to the site's developer, who argued that the money could instead fund 3,600 units across the city rather than just 1,200 units inside 5 World Trade. But what do we mean by government subsidy? With the high cost of land and construction in New York, building affordable housing is not very attractive to developers. The profit margins are not there, and when luxury property is in demand, it is an easier business decision to build that instead. To make affordable housing viable on sites like this, the government has to subsidize its construction at the taxpayer's expense. This means effectively paying developers to build affordable housing. Currently, the economic conditions for affordable housing to be organically constructed do not exist in Manhattan. It has to be engineered, which begs the question, will they ever exist again? And if not, what does this mean for the future of the city? Despite these challenges, activists at 5WTC persisted in their demands for more affordable units. After years of negotiation, New York Governor Kathy Hochul reached a new agreement in 2023. The number of affordable units would increase from 330 to 400, with 80 reserved for 9/11 survivors. This change will cost the state roughly $60 million in funding, with an additional $5 million from local authorities. As for the remaining 20% of the building space, 12% will be allocated for offices, with the rest consisting of retail and public amenities for residents. Over 2 decades have passed since 9/11, during which time the World Trade Center site has seen several stops and starts toward rebuilding. With the latest announcement finalized, construction for 5 World Trade Center is now expected to begin in 2024. This marks the latest step in realizing the site's envisioned future since the decision to rebuild was made. The journey has been long and complex, with numerous challenges and delays along the way. Plans for 2 World Trade Center have been in flux for years, with changes in design and tenant negotiations stalling progress. However, with the advancement on 5 World Trade Center, there is renewed hope that the rest of the complex will soon follow suit. The progress on 5 World Trade Center, which includes plans for a mixed-use building with residential, office, and retail spaces, reflects a significant milestone. This development not only aims to address the urgent need for affordable housing, but also represents a symbolic step forward in the ongoing efforts to revitalize Lower Manhattan. As construction begins, the hope is that the remaining buildings will soon rise, completing the vision of a renewed World Trade Center complex and honoring the legacy of resilience and renewal. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more updates on the World Trade Center and other iconic developments around New York City. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the future of 5 World Trade Center and affordable housing in Manhattan, so leave a comment below. For more insights and behind-the-scenes content, follow us on social media. We'll see you in the next video.